libertarians are getting more votes or having more of a reach than they did when you started?
Well, it's easier to spread our message because in 1996, first of all, I was going around saying, oh my gosh, the debt is so horrible. It's $5 trillion. It's out of control. We've got to stop it. And most people just, it didn't really mean anything to them. And we tried to explain how government is overreaching. And they were like, well, yeah, but I can pay my bills and, everything's fine. Well, now we don't have to explain it anymore. First of all, we've got a debt that's 5 times that, and people are finally starting to listen. Although, by the way, what's ironic is we no longer hear the Republicans talking about reducing it. And notice in the last debate, you didn't hear anything about the deficit or the debt or spending. But the other thing is now people are saying, yes, they're telling me I can't go to work. They're telling me I have to wear a mask. They're telling me I have to keep my kids home or put them in school when I don't want to online. And people don't have to have it pointed out to them that government is way overreaching into their lives. So now it's just a matter of, oh, hey, we're over here. We're the ones who think that you should have your own choice. So people are just really overreaching. Now, I'm not talking about the recent thing about the governor, the people in Ohio plotting. But when the people in Michigan first started protesting in front of the State House a couple months ago with no threats of murder, that really, I was so happy to see that because I thought that maybe Americans were losing their individualism, that maybe we were becoming sheep. And to see the people in Michigan surround the State House and saying, no, you can't put us under house arrest. We haven't done anything wrong. And the Dallas hairdresser who said, I have a right to go to work, or the New Jersey barber who said, I have a right to go to work. We've got people all over the country saying, this is America, it's the land of the free, and we should be able to leave our homes. So it is nice to see that. And as I said, these people are saying, okay, these Democrats and Republicans don't represent me. Neither one does. And I'd like to add, as an example of that, about 75% of our volunteers are from outside the party. So it shows how people are seeing that the system is broken.
So last question, you mentioned the people who are protesting outside the State House. It seems like there's a fine line between standing outside the State House and protesting and people going off the deep end and arranging to kidnap the governor. How do you balance those two things?
Well, peaceful protesting is an American tradition. We have a First Amendment right, and we should have the right to make our voice be heard. Vandalism, kidnapping, burning down buildings, all of those are crimes, and they should be punished to the fullest extent of the law. And in the beginning, it was really frustrating because we were seeing a lot of the early protests that were peaceful, and then we saw Antifa get in and start vandalizing, and there were plenty of clips circulating how the Black Lives Matter people were saying, no, we didn't ask you to do this. You're making us look bad. Stop doing that. Go away. And I think law enforcement probably should have done a better job of weeding out which ones are the peaceful protesters and which ones are breaking the law. But I would like to point out that all these people are marching because they want their voice heard. They wouldn't have to march if the Libertarian Party were in power, because again, we don't all vote on what we, how we want to live our lives that day. People would be able to vote every day with their feet and make their own decisions.